I want to introduce now our deputy leader here at Britain First. She's a lady who's confronted more terrorists than the SAS. She's been in more mosques than your average mad mullah. So without further ado, big round of applause, Deputy Leader Jayda Fransen!
Thank you. That was quite a description. So let me just start by saying a heartfelt and huge thank you to every one of you that's here. Honestly, this is just brilliant to see. Thank you all for coming today. And I can see that there's patriots that have travelled from all over Britain to stand together with us on this issue. And for that I am very, very grateful. So I'd also, Paul touched on this, but I'm so proud at how well everybody here conducted themselves through that march. This is how it's done. Flags held high, honour, true British ladies and gentlemen behaving so. So well done. So we all know why we're here. We're all here to oppose this mega mosque. Now the people of Dudley reached out to us and said, we don't want this mosque, come and do something. We came in November, we're here today. The people of Dudley do not want this mega mosque, and neither do we. Now, I've been asked, I don't know, countless times now, as you're not a local, Jayda, mostly this question's been posed by the biased BBC, I might add, but as you're not a local, what's it got to do with you, Jayda? So, what has this got to do with me? What's it got to do with you? What's it got to do with Britain First? Really, why are we bothering ourselves with this issue? Exactly. This issue will affect every single one of us. Every single mosque that is built in this country will affect every single one of us. So when they say, what has this got to do with you? You tell them, everything. It's got everything to do with us. Now, we just had a quick show of hands, but how many of you here are from the Black Country? Hey! I was expecting a bit more noise from you all, right? That's more like it. So, on a more somber note then, how many of you have seen this?
Too many times.
How many of you saw this headline? You've seen it. It's happening. It's happening already. For those of you who have seen this, you know exactly what I'm holding up. This is a police report that has made it into the press to say that it's already happening. The problems are here already. Dudley has already been described as a hotspot for Muslim grooming gangs. We've read it, we've seen it, it's been happening in Rotherham, it's been happening in Oxford, it's been happening in Newcastle, happening all across the UK. This is real, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what we have all seen, and we will see more of it if we don't do something. Now, we just need to touch on the issue of what this mosque will mean to this area. So let's just touch on that briefly, because where there are mosques, there are Muslims. Where there are Muslims, there are holy Islamic scriptures, there are Qurans, there are the Hadiths. What's contained in those holy Islamic scriptures?
Hate speech!
Exactly. Exactly. Now, not just hate speech. Not only do these scriptures incite hatred towards non-Muslims, they encourage jihad and they condone paedophilia. Now, let me just qualify that statement, because a lot of people say you're just Islamophobic, you're just misinterpreting the scriptures. So let me qualify that statement. Please, any of you, tell me, how else am I to interpret the following? Quran, chapter 2, verse 191. Allah said, quote, "And kill them wherever you find them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers." Verse 8:12 of the Quran. Allah said, and I quote, "I will cast terror into the hearts of the disbelievers. Therefore strike off their heads and strike off every fingertip of them." Strike off their heads. Have I misinterpreted that? No. But how about this one? Quran, chapter 9, verse 30. The Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah. The Christians say Christ is the son of Allah. May Allah destroy them. Are we seeing a common theme? If those aren't bad enough, let's have a look at the hadiths. Those are just the Quran. Those are just 3 verses from the Quran. 3 of hundreds. Let me go on. Hadith, Bukhari, 52:220. Allah's apostle Muhammad, who we all know of. "I have been made victorious with terror." Again, a very common theme, a very common word that we're hearing a lot at the moment. Hadith Tabari 969. Allah's apostle Muhammad, killing unbelievers. Killing unbelievers, that's you and I, everyone standing here today. Killing unbelievers is a small matter to us. Us is the Muslims. The unbelievers are the people stood here. It's a small matter to them, killing unbelievers.
Try it.
So, we've heard some of those verses, and I'd just like you to consider this last one. And I'd like you to all take a moment to picture this in your mind's eye. This is from the Hadith Al-Tabari, volume 9, 130 to 131. This hadith was narrated by Aisha. "My mother came to me while I was being swung on a swing. I was then brought in whilst the messenger of God, Muhammad, was sitting on a bed in our house. My mother made me sit on his lap. The messenger of God consummated his marriage with me when I was 9 years old." These are not my words. These are the words of Allah. These are the words of Muhammad. These are the words of Aisha. Aisha was a little girl placed upon the lap of a man in his 50s who married her at the age of 6 and raped her at the age of 9. This is their words, ladies and gentlemen, not mine. And these are the scriptures that will be taught, that will be preached in this mosque. Guaranteed, without exception, that's what's going to happen. They are the Islamic scriptures. These so-called Islamic scriptures, holy Islamic scriptures, they state that Muhammad is the perfect human. He is the perfect human, the example by which every Muslim should try and aspire to behave this way, to try and live their lives the way Muhammad did. Let me ask you. There's always one. There's always one. Right. Maybe he didn't like the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Is that what we think? So let me ask you, and perhaps he could answer this. Is the perfect human a 50-year-old man who sits a child on his lap and then rapes her at the age of 9? Is that the perfect human? Is that what we want for our children? Do we want this? No. Being taught in the towns where our children are supposed to be playing innocently in parks, going to schools, going about their day-to-day lives, and we've got people like that who want to come and contest what we're saying. What are they doing? Supporting paedophilia?
Yeah, of course they are, yeah.
The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, we do not want this for our children. Obviously, we do not want this for our children. But it will happen if we do nothing. It will happen, mark my words. It will. We've seen, I've showed you the papers today. We've seen the headlines. Now, let me ask you a question. These grooming gangs in the UK, who's grooming our children? Come on, who's grooming our children? Who's raping our children? Exactly. Muslims, because they're following the Prophet Muhammad, the perfect human, the example set to them by Allah. That's what they're doing. The police have described this town as a hotspot for grooming gangs, Muslim grooming gangs. And the council wants to build another mosque. They're making our children targets. They are putting our children at risk. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Good man. Now, take it from someone who, you can probably tell from the accent, from someone who's seen it. I've seen it in my own hometown, London. I have seen London and parts of it been turned into Muslim ghettos, no-go zones. If I don't put myself head to toe in a burqa, I can't go into parts of London. I've seen it. I'm no stranger to it. And the Islamification of this town will not stop at this mosque. Because where there's a mosque, there are Muslims. And where there are Muslims, there is radicalization. This mosque will result in people being radicalized. We've got another chancer.
Hold still! Maintain discipline! Stay back! Maintain discipline! Maintain discipline! Maintain discipline! Maintain discipline! Come down, further down the hill! Leave it at that! Let security deal with it! Please come back to outside the council offices! Let's conduct ourselves like disciplined patriots!
Well done, everyone. You know, don't give them any oxygen, don't give them any attention. We all know why we're here. It's the likes of them that want to distract us from the real issues. It's the likes of them who are supporting these dirty paedophiles who are going across the country raping our kids. Now, we've confronted, Britain First as a movement have gone far and beyond any other group I've seen that's claimed to be patriotic and wanted to do something about tackling Islam. We've confronted Islamic extremists. I personally have been locked in the back of a police van for confronting Anjem Chowdhury, a notorious Muslim hate preacher. They chucked me in the back of a police van, big scary me. You know, these are the kind of things that will make a difference, because we've chased him down the street. We've gone to their houses, we've gone to their workplaces, we have made their lives a misery because we want them to stop, and nothing's going to stop them. The police aren't going to stop them, they're not interested. That's why it's up to us. So, I would just like to say that in terms of the turnout today, not only does it look fantastic, to see all of our flags being held so high is such a beautiful sight. But this is the point, okay? Just take a minute and look beside you. Look at the person standing next to you. Just take a minute. What a lovely looking bunch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the people standing beside you are the elite. You are the elite. You are the people that are willing to do something for this country, and you can and you will save Britain. We cannot let these monsters who want to put our women in burqas, who want to marry and sexually abuse our little children, we cannot let them take our country from us. Men have bled, have died to protect the flags that you are all holding. What will we do? Will we give them away or will we protect them? So, before I introduce our next speaker, I really do feel that each and every one of you should give yourselves a round of applause, because for turning up today you are making a difference. Well done to every single one of you. So let us not hand over our country. Let us not hand over our flags that we fought to defend. Let us fight until the death to make sure that they never take this country from us. We are the British people, and together we are going to take this country back. God save the